What's up everybody, it's your boy Hokage here, welcome to the video. Now, I've been on a short hiatus, as you probably noticed. It's actually because I was working on a project that's not really related to this YouTube channel, but anyway, I'm back. In this video, I'm gonna cover the previous two episode reviews that I didn't do on time. I'm gonna review episode 149 first, then I'm gonna watch episode 150, and then I'm gonna review it. Now, since it's two reviews in one video, I'm gonna try and make it shorter. If you ever saw some of my multiple episode reviews in a videos in the past, then you know what I'm talking about. And episode 151 comes out tomorrow, and I know everybody's looking forward to that. So again, I'm gonna be pretty short. I'm gonna keep this video under 15 minutes long. Usually an entire episode review is about 15 minutes long, but this time you get two reviews for that short time. And yeah. Episode 149 is a 10 out of 10. I really loved this episode, and I even watched it 2 times because I like the emotional aspect of the episode. I'm very sorry that I have to be pretty quick now because I feel like this review in normal circumstances would be super long, but I'm gonna just go over a couple of main points. It's a 10 out of 10 episode, no doubt about that. But anyway, we had some fantastic interactions between Boruto and Tento. The main reason is that we actually see this parallel between Boruto and Tento, and even Boruto himself pretty much mentions this when he tells Tento that he used to be like him. You know, he used to beg for Naruto's attention by doing silly things. He was even banned from being a ninja or whatever. But all of that is the past, right? And also these interactions show Boruto's incredible growth. Now, already, even without this episode, it's obvious that Boruto grew as a character, right? His character growth is pretty obvious, as I said, but you don't really hear Boruto often directly reference his own character arc in a way. Like, he literally referenced everything that happened. He reflected upon his past, and he was doing all of this to kind of, I guess, inspire Tento. And I mean, not only this conversation, but in general this episode, even bits of episode 148. But anyway, episode 149 definitely it shows Tento growing as a character, and we get a glimpse into his past. Now, this is such a small detail for most people, I would assume, but for me, this is like the biggest detail of the episode, and it tells you so much about Tento. When Boruto does the sexy jutsu, Tento's like, well, I see a bunch of ladies like those in my house. Now, that tells you 2 things. Number one, most likely he doesn't live with his mom. I don't know if his mother is dead or if she's just away, if EQ and his wife divorced, but that tells you that he's pretty much growing up with a father, because if his mother was in the household, no prostitutes would be coming to the house. And this also tells us a lot about EQ as well. You guys can connect 2 dots, but anyway, that's such a huge detail. And of course, it's not only lack of mother, it's the fact that EQ is very busy and Tento is often quote-unquote alone. Luckily, he has Yamaoka. Well, Yamaoka died in this episode, so he doesn't have him. He doesn't have him anymore. I wasn't trying to make a joke, I was serious, but I just realized what I said. But anyway, he used to have Yamaoka, right? And I guess sometimes he would spend time with his dad, but it was pretty limited. That birthday scene was super sad as well. But anyway, as I said, there's a clear parallel between Boruto and Tento, but I think Tento had it even worse, because at least Boruto could spend time with Hinata and Himawari, right? But Tento was pretty much alone, so that was pretty sad. And he did all these things, the ninja card tournaments. And by the way, I love the symbolism behind the ninja cards, how at the end of the episode Tento didn't really want to get the card for nothing. And then Boruto was like, well, you were training and all of that, so technically you did something, so take the card. I thought that was wonderful. And the music that was playing in the background as Boruto was once again referencing his goal, that he wants to be the quote-unquote shadow Hokage, somebody who supports the Hokage directly, but he's most likely going to do it from the shadows in one way or another, just like Sasuke. That's wonderful foreshadowing, and overall I think that's my favorite scene of the episode. I mentioned that Yamaoka was killed. Once again, I said this so many times throughout the Mujina Bandits arc, ever since it started in the 141st episode. The tone of this arc is dark, and I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. Also, this episode had quite a few great comedy moments, especially when Tento was roasting Boruto for not being able to produce like 1,000 clones. I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, we had like a little political discussion between EQ and Naruto, and of course Shikamaru was there. They were talking about how they're going to budget different things, the defense budget, education, stuff like that. And Kaguya's ruins were mentioned once again, which everybody pretty much knows this, but it just foreshadows that the Otsutsuki clan, even though Momoshiki, Kinshiki, and Urashiki are gone, we're going to get a lot of Otsutsuki related stuff in the future. And it was interesting seeing Shikamaru so passionate about the entire thing. And Naruto kind of calming him down. Back in Naruto Shippuden, it would usually be the opposite. But anyway, going back to Tento was saying how EQ constantly talks about ninja and how he respects them. And you could even see that in his conversation with Naruto. There's some respect there, so that gives us a little information, that gives us information about EQ's character, right? So that's good. We even had a beautiful little moment when Naruto was explaining how shinobi are supposed to protect others, and for some reason I thought of Haku and Naruto, because if you guys remember, Haku was basically telling Naruto that if you have somebody to protect, you're stronger. And so I guess it's also because a few days ago I was watching some like random YouTubers. I forgot their name. It was like multiple people, but they upload on one channel. Basically they were reacting to Naruto. They started doing it I think last year or something like that, maybe 2018, I don't know. And I was watching some of the Zabuza Haku reactions, because the first arc of Naruto, the Land of Waves arc, Zabuza arc, whatever you want to call it, it's my favorite arc in all of Naruto and Boruto. So yeah, I was watching some reactions, and I guess that whenever I watch that, it just sticks with me, So anyway, this episode, once again, 10 out of 10, beautiful episode. Even though I read the manga, I can't wait to watch episode 150 right now, and then I'm going to review it and put it together with this. So for you, it's going to be a couple of seconds, but for me, I guess I'll see you in like 20 to 30 minutes. Episode 150 is another 10 out of 10 episode. The anime version of the Mujina Bandits arc is definitely one of my favorite arcs in all of Boruto, and we're yet to get the climax episode. We're getting it in less than 24 hours, and I can just imagine that after that episode I'm gonna love this arc even more. But I think I said it, but I'm referring to the anime version, not the manga version. For those of you who read the manga version of this arc, and for those of you who also watched this arc ever since episode 141, I don't really think I need to explain why I prefer the anime version. I think it's I think it would be crazy, just wrong to prefer the manga version, but whatever. Anyway, this episode starts off with a kidnapping. It kind of develops what the previous episode foreshadowed, or not really foreshadowed, excuse me, what the previous episode set up. That's a better phrase right there. Anyway, after that, we see that Team 7 got this B-rank mission, right? And we never really found out what the mission was. It's interesting that Sarada references her goal in this episode, because in the episode before this one, Boruto referenced his goal, which I mentioned in my previous review, and now Sarada does it. And this is very interesting because Sarada and Boruto, unlike Naruto, they don't scream their goal every few minutes. So when you hear this, it actually gives you more satisfaction, because it doesn't occur so often. Anyway, wonderful chemistry between Team 7. Also some funny interactions, such as Sarada telling Konohamaru to get his shit together. I still can't believe that in 2020 some people still think that Konohamaru is going to become the Hokage. I love Konohamaru, but there's no way he's becoming the Hokage. Anyway, The funny moments such as that, and then also Boruto calling Konohamaru big bro. That's like an ongoing gag in the Boruto anime. So whatever. Anyway, later on, and we never really found out what the mission was in this episode, I guess. So yeah, there's that. We all know that there's that pretty much. I mean, we saw the rest of the episode. All of us did, right? There's nothing from that mission, unfortunately. But anyway, for now at least. But anyway, tend to put this super rare card into Boruto's pocket, and that's how he got to the window or the balcony, whatever, and he heard everything. I guess that could technically be interpreted as plot convenience, but I was really debating this in my head, and I was literally thinking about some of the objectively best anime I've ever seen, some of the most popular anime, and fiction in general. Like, fiction consists of plot convenience. It's just the way it is. So it wouldn't be fair to call this plot convenience, because almost everything is plot convenience, because if there's no plot convenience, you don't really get a compelling plot, if that makes sense, or you don't have plot at all. But anyway, the Mujina bandits, they're fucking dangerous. As EQ mentioned in this episode, like, they could have spies within EQ's team. Well, not team, but like within, you know what I mean. Like, they could have spies in Konoha. Like, you never know, because they're real shit, right? Hozuki Castle was referenced in this episode. That was really nice. I wonder if Shojoji will mention that Kokuri died in the next episode to piss off Boruto even more. Maybe not, who knows, but I'm interested to see how that goes. But anyway, based on this whole conversation that EQ had with one of his bodyguards, he decides not to tell Konoha anything, because again, they might be watching them. They might do something nasty to Tenta if they see EQ contacting the Hokage or whatever. It's a really stressful situation for EQ. Even, I mean, earlier in this episode, for a second he wanted to get rid of all the cars that Tenta bought, but then he reflected upon the convo that he had with Naruto, and he kind of realized that maybe he shouldn't do that, and then he was like, we should spend some time in hot springs or something like that. It was like an inner monologue, I think. So I guess there's like mini character growth for EQ as well, I guess, in a way, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like he's this major character that we're going to see in every episode until the end of the series, right? But anyway, Boruto hears everything, and he goes to Sarada for a bit, and that's the famous quote-unquote Borosara scene that Borosara fans have been waiting for a long time, myself included. Now, quickly, if you don't read the manga, basically this scene in the manga is pretty much the same. There's a few differences, but basically Sarada is dressed up differently, and it's, she's much more revealing. A lot of her body is revealed. Now, Sarada in general was sexualized as fuck in the Boruto manga. I even made a rant, like I think in 2017 or something like that. But in my opinion, I think they should have kept the original clothes, because it makes the whole scene even more intimate. Because I mean, she's in her room, right? So I don't understand the change, but whatever. I like the scene. Some people will interpret it as just a normal scene with two comrades talking. Some people might interpret this as a Borosara scene. I'm kind of leaning towards the Borosara one. There was just something about that convo, the breaks between the sentences. I don't know, I could be reaching. Anyway, Shojoji references Orochimaru. That's worth noting. That perhaps means that they had some history. Who knows? That's very, very interesting. And the eating scene, as Shojoji was about to quote unquote eat. Well, not quote unquote. He was about to eat Tenta's brain. I thought it would be censored, the jutsu, because it was censored earlier in this arc when he ate Kokuri's brain, but I guess they just wanted to, I don't even know why they censored that, if they didn't censor this, but anyway, Boruto shows up, he acknowledges Tenta's incredible character growth. This episode is a 10 out of 10. This arc is almost flawless. I'm loving everything about it. That was your boy Tsunoda Hokage. Once again, I'm sorry for these short reviews, but from episode 151, I'm back to normal reviews, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.